So, Sheila, what did you make of
Oh,
those
cool.
videos we were watching?
Uh, you know, it's fun. The internet's a great thing. It gives all sorts of people, not just, you know, a, a huge vat of information, but it also gives stupid people an audience. So whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, here's a topic I don't know anything at all about, so I'm gonna make a long, drawn-out video and just kind of blather on about nothing. Good stuff.
It's kind of the weird thing I find, especially as Europe kind of, rejects the more traditional religions. I see more people going towards New Age. And I don't know, is that the same for you, Martin, in Sweden? Do you notice something like that?
Not really.
I do notice it in the UK. I have noticed more folk I know. I think it's like when we had Gary on, he just says he finds it quite nice. It does have that kind of warm, fuzzy, welcoming kind of
Well,
atmosphere to
it
it.
does that. I mean, I understand that people like it because it is appealing. All this. It's about being happy and all that. And I'm all on board. But there comes a point when trying to make people happy by providing them with false information it just goes too far. Like, we get into anti-vaxxers and stuff like that. They're trying to make people happy by pointing out, we don't need all those drugs in our bodies, and they're just bad for you, and they'll cause all kinds of crap. But actually, those drugs save lives, and they're getting things wrong. And I think most of those people have good intentions. Some of them definitely don't. Some of them are just trying to, write a book and sell it, and they'll say whatever they think people will buy. But
I nearly felt like strangling Microblossom there. He had the worst typo ever. He said, "Yeah, now echo," but he meant to say, "Yeah, no echo." I was about ready just to go apeshit there. But yeah, it's like what Matt Dillahunty always says, I don't care if it's good or nice, I just care if it's true or not.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean,
and a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I have kind of seen it's, and one of the weird things, my encounters with New Age, wee bit of background is my mum, about 15 years ago, she had breast cancer and she went to a support group, and every year they have their conferences, and they had it in my city in one year. And I was really stunned at the amount of New Age woo that was at this cancer conference.
Yeah, well, desperate people.
Yeah, there was Reiki, there was The Secret, all that kind of stuff. I was really, really stunned at just what was there. And, I felt a wee bit uncomfortable because, they're preying on all these people who've suffered this terrible thing, really.
Yeah.
And they're looking for a way to feel better, and they're giving them something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's part of me that says, well, they looked pretty happy, all the folk at the conference, but, am I happy with them getting something false to feel happy?
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, like I said in my crystal video, I mean, if you want to, if it's about a sick, no, I don't think I put it this way. But anyway, if you can make a sick person feel happy, okay, good, but not at the cost of him not seeking proper help. If you seek help in addition to buying a pretty crystal, and you think the crystal makes you better, fine, that's your business. And if it makes you feel better, even if you're terminally ill and a crystal makes you feel happier, okay, good for you. But the problem is when people actually buy this crap instead of getting proper help, and if they truly believe in it, they will, and then it's dangerous. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, and part of it is too that as there is some, I'm not going to give it more credit than it deserves, but there is some weight to believing that something is going to work, sort of a mind over matter kind of a thing. I don't want you to think that. Well, exactly. So, but I don't think does that mean that I think that buying a crystal is going to cure you of cancer? No, I don't. Not by any means. But
No,
I do
exactly.
think that it's certain, there is some sort of weight to, well, if I believe that this is going to work, then at least I'm going to feel better about it, or,
Yeah.
you
And I
know what I mean?
think that there are things about the placebo effect that we don't understand. Like there's like placebo surgery that was done on I don't know if it was like Parkinson's sufferers or something like that, and they actually got better even though nothing was done. And that just so there are things about the placebo effect that we don't understand. But one thing we do know about it is that it's very unreliable.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I'm not a big one for going to the doctor. I certainly don't take my kids every time they get a cold. I try to avoid going to the doctor as much as possible, but I do know that there is some stuff that we just can't get around. Antibiotics, for example. If you have some sort of infection, you definitely need an antibiotic. Immunizations. All of my kids are updated on immunizations. I get a tetanus shot every 10 years just to keep me from getting lockjaw. So there are certain exceptions to everything, and I certainly wouldn't go to somebody to place their hands on me in lieu of some sort of surgery or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, sorry about the glare back there. It's daytime.
That's okay.
We're in the depths of winter over here, so it's got dark here.
It's getting really cold here as well.
It was dark here at about 4 p.m. So
it's this horrible Norwegian winter.
You're just getting that out the way. It's actually quite funny because I'm thinking of going up to Norway for. I'm not joking, but actually going to proper Norway for Christmas to spend. I'm thinking of going way up north to watch the Northern Lights over Christmas. And but even you can admit that's the best place to do it, Marty, isn't it?
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was reading the chat.
No, I said I'm going to be spending Christmas in Norway. I'm going to go up to see the Northern Lights.
Oh, that's way up.
Yeah, Tromsø, is it? Is that how you pronounce it?
One more time.
Tromsø. I'm probably pronouncing it completely wrong.
I'm not sure what.
It's the town that's way up north here with the airport. It's like
the last O is crossed out, right?
Yeah.
And Tromsø.
Tromsø, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of heading up there for Christmas too, because I have heard it's like the best place for the Northern Lights.
Yeah, it may be. I don't know exactly where that is, but I know it's way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even been that far up in Sweden.
All right.
I've been about halfway up. So I live in the southern part.
Yeah.
Okay, someone said a 30-minute video with Deepak Chopra and Hammeroff.
Okay, chat room.
Find it.
Chat room, if you find that, Marty will do it for you. He is that crazy.
I will try. I need to post something more.
Yeah.
This has been way too little.
Ooh,
or we can do something creationism related.
Yeah.
Just not the usual crap about evolution.
Okay.
Try something physics related in that
There you go.
case.
We'll probably say next person in the chat room to link us. That's what we'll get Marty to phone for you. So chat room, dig out something and we'll get Marty to respond to it. And we have Glee in the room. Can you hear us, Glee? Are you going to speak this time? No, he's just going to do his usual stalker routine. He always does this.
Trollololo ergo sum. Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
I troll, therefore I am.
Oh, my chat hasn't updated in a while.
No, it seems to update in waves.
Yeah. All right, we've got a link up.
Okay, I don't.
Yep. Well, you probably have to refresh. So I shall find this video for everyone.
Oh, there.
Yep, find it. So give me a second and I'll download it into my video streaming software. So did anyone here watch the Dawkins-Chopra discussion / debate?
Oh,
Yeah, I did.
Was
Well,
it as fun?
I tried. I rage quit after about 15 minutes.
Rage
So
quit.
was it more just you?
Not because of Chopra. Dawkins sucked in it.
Did he? All right.
Yeah, he needs to stick to what he can. He should stick to what he's good at.
Yeah. Even I've noticed that he's not a good debater at all.
No.
He's just not. I mean, he's a fantastic orator and a speaker, and like when he's speaking to a crowd, he's fantastic. But
yeah, but he doesn't think well on his feet.
Yeah.
And Chopra is I mean, all he has to do is go Deepak on anyone, and it's just, what the hell are you going to do?
Yeah, so you'd say like Michael Shermer did better against Deepak, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but when Dawkins called him out on using a bunch of word salad, basically what happened was he just responded that, well, scientists always do that. And to someone who doesn't understand it, of course it sounds like word salad. And, well, yeah, congratulations, Deepak Chopra actually had a point. And Dawkins did not have a decent retort for that, and that was just painful.
Okay,
he should have asked Chopra for definitions.
Yeah. Sorry, hello there.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we've had to stop the broadcast. I just got a warning from Google. We can't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know they could do that, so that's gonna
change everything.
Yeah, I think we'll have to go to Vaughn Live to do our live ponages in the future.
Yeah.
You got a warning from Google about what?
Copyright.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, well, that sucked. Yeah, I guess live ponage, because we're actually showing the entire thing. Fair use may be a little hard to argue.
Yeah. So that's...
yeah. Well, that sucked.
Yep, that does suck. And they've sent me another warning now, even though I've stopped.
Yay!
Must be just Google's autumn. I think it's probably the lag on it that.
Yeah.
And maybe
probably.
Go by what's on the stream right now rather than what's on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit of a bugger, really.
Yeah.
So people, ask us some questions then.
Yeah.
Why is it still sending me a warning? We've stopped.
Probably because it's still going. Even though the video you were showing isn't, the broadcast is still going.
I've closed down everything.
Yeah, Jordan, I really appreciate that you're not giving me any copyright hassles. Although I don't think you could, because I'm only using snippets. But still, anyway, that's I appreciate that you're not going that route.
There's so many other.
If you want to respond to anything I do, you can use footage from my videos as well. It's no problem. I'm not going to file a DMCA for fair use issues.
Yeah. It's another warning. I've stopped. Please.
We're not streaming any copyrighted content right now, Google.
Please stop.
Come on, we've stopped.
I mean,
we actually listen to you. You know what you're not doing? Listening to people.
Why not fair use? You're asking, Ronald. I thinking maybe I might need to check, but when you're doing it live, I don't know if fair use applies. I think it's pre-recorded in that. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That's really. Well, I suppose, I mean, it's up to Google what they do. We have to just abide by the rules.
Yeah, we can't really do anything about it.
I mean, so yeah, any other questions, chat room, please? Please speak now. But yeah, look, we'll go probably the Dawkins thing. So what was actually going on with that? What was the whole Dawkins-Chopra thing for?
It was just an open dialogue. They had questions. Some of it, like Dawkins sent in questions he wanted to ask Deepak, and Deepak sent in his own questions, and they had them all in these big plastic balls in different tubs that they could pull out from, and they would pull out a question. The way it was supposed to go is they would pull a question out, like started with Dawkins. They pulled his out, and he asked the question to Deepak, and Deepak was supposed to have 3 minutes to respond to it. And then it would go back to Dawkins for a 90-second rebuttal, and then back to Deepak for like another 60-second response. Or they had if he had his own questions, he could ask those. And that's what it started out. They pulled one question from the balls, and then they spent the entire time talking about that. And it was just, it really was. I mean, I know a lot of people are all excited about it because it's a conversation between Dawkins and Deepak, but it really didn't accomplish a whole lot of anything except letting people know that Deepak, you know, what they already know, just that he's a, you know, a lot of doublespeak and no actual content. And, you know, obviously that Dawkins doesn't do well ad-libbing, so to speak, I guess.
Yeah, someone's saying that it's a bit weird how YouTube won't let you stream YouTube videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
But then again, it's YouTube, they do want to cover their ass in case of copyright issues.
Yeah, they've had problems with that before. That's why they're being so quick to remove anything that gets DMCA'd.
Well, it's like if you remember what happened to Pottola. Basically, you know how he explained it, that YouTube need to be a safe harbor. They can't take a side either way on it. They just remove it because that's the only way they can be safe about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, you know, even if we were in the right here using this footage and carried on, you know, that's YouTube. They've taken, you know, because they took a stance on it. That's found out to be wrong. YouTube will be in major shit. So
exactly.
And I'm still
they're the ones getting sued, if anything.
Yeah, I'm still getting the warnings coming up. I'm guessing it's just automated.
Yeah, probably.
They'll probably carry on until the next hangout. They won't show at all.
Yeah. Yeah. To the guy, chemistry question, it says, Jordan, I'm ashamed to share a first name with you. Look, I'm not going to come down on you for saying shit like that. That's your opinion, but. It's beneath my level.
Yeah, it's like when you make your videos to Jordan and you're saying it's stupid, you're saying it's the position that Jordan has that's stupid, not
yeah, exactly. I'm not. I don't want to attack a person. I want to attack the claims the person makes. But whatever. Yeah, Jordan, I gotcha. But I don't think Google will care.
Yeah, if they see us streaming another video like that here, they're probably going to will. And there'll be a flag on the tool account, which means we can't do our shows. We can't upload long videos, which buggers it up for.
And that'll suck.
Yeah, because
and also, yes, Jordan, I did notice that you were gonna post a video to me on Monday, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know if I'm gonna end up wishing I could strangle you or if I'll enjoy it, but I'm looking forward to it anyway. You definitely seem like a nice guy, so
yeah.
I hope it's I hope you're taking my criticism with a sense of humor, because it's kind of intended as entertainment,
Mhm.
to a large extent anyway.
Someone's got a question in there.
Oh.
What's your opinion on using herbal extracts as a treatment for conditions, like using passion flower for anxiety?
I don't know if it works, but if it works, go for it.
Yep. It's tested. Write up some statistics, some data.
Yeah, I mean, the willow bark works against headaches. We call it aspirin. I mean, natural remedies, great if it works. A lot of it doesn't work. That's the problem.
Yep. It's like I say, just test it a whole heap of times, do some controlled experiments, write up a shitload of data, and then we might, and we'll think about it. It's the same way with most of that stuff. Then.
Well, and a lot of our pharmaceutical stuff starts out being taken from plant life, so it's not like it's all bullshit. It's just in how it's used, and how it's presented.
And just to we're getting onto pharmaceuticals, like I don't go for the whole big pharma conspiracy. I think there is bad pharma, there is problems in the pharmaceutical industry, but it's not on the extent or to the kind of insidious nature that some people would like to, like Mike Adams makes out.
Oh.
Like I say, it's like they say, like there is flaws in science as well, but usually science can correct itself. And like I say, there's problems with pharma as well. There's problems with a lot of industries. I mean, I don't know of a single industry that is perfect, but that's what.
Yeah, there are problems with science in general. It's the issues with arguing the whole peer review thing. That's one of the reasons why I chose to give up a career in physics, because I'm not interested in getting into all that. Just arguing with people, and then I end up arguing with people on YouTube instead, of course, but that's a different issue.
Just to say, Jordan, we could probably set up the screen share, but right in the middle of a broadcast is never a good time to do any adjustments. Only if the stream is going direly bad do I ever try and adjust things like it was earlier. Like I say, usually when I do a broadcast, unless something's really bad, then I don't try and change anything. Once the pre-show check's done, just let it run. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Sketch is pointing out here, it may not even work because we don't know how the screen recognition thing works.
Because it could be just if we are streaming a video that's marked for monetization, it might flag it up straight away. So
it could be something like that.
Yeah, because I know you've got partnership, Marty, so even if we started streaming your video, they could flag us up.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I think if I did it, if I hosted the Hangout, I could probably do it, but that's a different issue.
Sorry.
Yeah, like I say, we're not going to risk it tonight. We've got a warning, so I'll probably, after the show, it's because it's something I wasn't aware of that they could detect us, so I'm going to have to look it up. Because, like I say to everyone, it could affect the future of us.
Yeah. Live Tony John Vaughan.
Yeah, Jordan, there is screen share, but everyone has to install it in the Hangout. And, like I say, we're not going to start doing installs and settings. But anyway, we're having a conversation now with the chat room, and it's going quite well.
Yeah.
I think everyone's enjoying this. So, okay, so as it's your 4,000 sub celebration, Marty, how did you get started in this YouTube lack?
Oh.
What drove you into it?
Well, I started watching it just for the same reasons everyone else does, watching stupid videos of people getting hurt or something like that, or cute kittens or whatever. And then I noticed that there are actually videos being made by skeptics. And I discovered the arguing between Thunderfoot and Venomfang X, followed that, and then I discovered the atheist experience. And, I just stayed in the background for about a year before Coughlin hosted the Ponage Olympics. And right about then I also discovered truthful Christian. So now I had some idiot to respond to and a competition that would actually give me an audience straight away. So actually, I got several hundred views on my first video. And hey, great. So that was the time for me to start.
Well, might as well. We can do like a kind of Trolling the Logic style interview with you right now. What was kind of the first real milestone you felt you hit once you started doing your videos? Like when did you think like, oh, I'm really enjoying this. This could go somewhere.
I don't know if it was like probably hitting 1,000 subscribers when I noticed, I was out of that 3-digit swamp that I always expected I would be stuck in. But I don't really know. I never really cared all that much about how many subscribers I had. So
yeah, it's kind of weird. I noticed it just seems to happen in spurts all the time.
Yeah.
Like you'll look for months and months and it doesn't move, and then just suddenly out of nowhere you can get like 600 subs just out of the blue.
Yeah.
I think one of the big things for you also was when a certain Mr. Coughlin gave you a shout out as well.
Well, that didn't really do a lot for my sub count, but it did feel awesome because because the Ponage Olympics got me started making videos. So I kind of feel like Coughlin helped me get started, even though he didn't take any personal part in it. There's a question in the chat room. What happened to the Kent Hovind God Did It video? Copyright. The beat I used.
Yeah.
When I joined the partner network, I had to take it down.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to get flagged.
Yeah, it's the same. The Trolling the Logic channel was offered partnership, but I don't think we can get it with the live Ponage videos.
No, probably not.
Even though
it's risky.
Yeah, we do fall under fair use, but the kind of nature of them, I think partners will be very nervy about promoting them. Even though they are, I've checked it, they're completely legal because, like the Ponage video, like on average it's like an hour of the video and there's about 3 hours of our commentary above it. So, I think, because that's one of the key factors to remember is the amount of what you put into it compared to the amount of the original work.
Well,
it's very, there's no actual hard and fast to it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's different in different countries also. In Sweden, it's basically I can't use the entire work. It doesn't matter if it's just a portion of mine. I can't take an entire video.
Yeah, I think just for the US law, it's open to interpretation. They just judge it on something like, if it's just you've taken a 1-hour video and just had 5 minutes of commentary, then obviously that's not fair use. Whereas I think they say if you've got a 1-hour video and there's 4 hours of you doing rebuttals and criticisms, and they say, yeah, that's a substantial work and it changes the nature of the thing and it's a proper review or a satire or something like that.
Yeah. I stick to using portions of videos, preferably just a few minutes, but it's not always possible. But I always try to edit it down quite a lot. Michael
in the chat room is offering you his music.
Yeah, that's we've talked about that before real quick. I don't know what I would like, but the God Did It thing is something that I would really like to do again because that was fun, and Kent Hovind doesn't copyright his videos. So.
Also, Michael, I don't know if you'd be interested. We would like to have our own theme tune for Tool. The current one we use is a public domain, but if we had our own custom one,
that would be awesome. And I know that Michael he does some really good stuff.
Okay.
His work is featured on That Guy with the Glasses.
Oh, nice.
So he's done the intro music for their movies, among other things. So he's a really good composer.
Mm. Oh, Google's finally stopped warning me about copyright now.
Oh, cool.
Hasn't been one for the past 15 minutes.
Marty, how did you go from doing your own to joining up with Trolling with Logic, or were you there before you started doing your own?
Actually, that was one of the things that happened right about the time I got started. Actually, Trolling with Logic did their ponage of what was it? Christian Answers.
And yeah, it was everyone. I think. Shall we give? Do you want to give the history of Tool, or shall I?
No, you go ahead.
Basically, everyone we've been in existence since 2009, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just know the show on the podcast. But we were in existence as a group then, and it was Team Ponage videos. And it was Rione, 1989, who's sadly not on YouTube anymore. He did some fantastic stuff. Chatty Spikey is also not on YouTube anymore. And Feridir 28. They were the three guys that got together. And it was just like a little group for smaller channels to get together to do these collab videos to help each other along. I think they did, and we did a few videos there at the start, and like I said, people just got real life stuff and it went dormant. Yeah. And then it was one night in 2010, because I was still friends with Kitch and Marty, kind of. Well, I never really even spoke to you before the show started much, Marty, if I recall. No. But anyway, there was an infamous night in February 2010, is it? No, 2011.
Yeah, 11 it has to be.
2010, we went dormant for a while. 2011, Kitch.
Hello. What happened?
Is Google just going to hang up on him?
Oh. Well, anyway, I joined the group after they did their Christian Answers ponage, and what happened then? What was it? They had, I think they made 3 parts, and I felt that, hey, wait a minute, you're missing some parts here. So I went to that website and I noticed that they had an astronomy section. And I figured, hey, I can respond to pretty much everything they said. So I made an unofficial part 4 and sent it to them. And they went, okay, you're in the group, basically. So that's it.
Okay.
I basically forced myself in.
Right.
But they liked my stuff, and that was, compared to what I do now, that was crap. There's so many things wrong with those videos. I no longer have them up. Videos from that, from my really early days on YouTube, but
hello, am I back?
Yes, you're back.
That was bizarre. I don't know what happened there.
You get booted out of your own Hangout?
Yeah, weird. I don't know. It just it's actually weird that that's happened, because now I know, should I drop in the middle of a proper show, that you guys can keep it going then. Whereas like in Skype, if I drop, then everyone drops.
Yeah.
Right.
Where was I? Yeah, it was the debate with Eye to Eye. Did you cover that, Marty?
No, I didn't.
But basically, Kitch was invited onto a debate with Eye to Eye, and that was a very strange night indeed. It was one of those infamous late night blog TV nights where just weird shit just happened.
Yeah, I just popped in and left because nothing happened. But then he showed up apparently.
Yeah, I think you were there early on, and after you left, Nephilim Free came in. And you missed that. Nephilim Free was talking away, and he rage quit on Womble. Womble did her special.
Oh, was that the little girl thing?
Yeah. No, young lady.
Oh, young lady, yeah.
But basically, we had that, the debate went on, and then it was after that, myself and Kitch thought, why don't we try doing a podcast? And that's what we started in 2011, and to not put finer point on, our 2011 shows were just horrifically bad.
Yeah, we had.
We didn't know what we were doing.
No, and we had horrible tech issues every time as well.
It was kind of, that was our year of learning, and then
Yeah.
it was based towards the end of that year we got invited onto the Skeptic TV charity show,
Yeah.
and we hosted 2 guests. That was our first ever guests on any of our shows ever, because we were saying, oh, you've got an hour, and I thought, what the fuck are we going to do? And so I got a hold of Joe Zemeckis and Damon Fowler. I think it was after that I said, oh, we really like having guests on.
Yeah.
And then, boom, that was it. That's what kicked us off on trying to get cool people on and interviewing them. And then 2012 was our first proper year where we kind of settled into a nice routine, and it's just gone on from strength to strength.
Yeah.
I agree from there. Yeah, and that's pretty much how we got to where we are now.
Yeah.
And so you can give your kind of recollections of Tool. Like the
Well, you pretty much said everything there is to say, I think.
Or if there's any kind of, I don't know, anything you remember specifically from the early days to where we are now.
No, it's just been a steady but fairly slow improvement. We're learning as we go, and I mean our equipment is crap, which you can obviously tell, and but we're getting the hang of this. I just recently we've had a lot of bad luck with guests that haven't shown up, but
tomorrow though it's here. We are confirmed.
Okay. And you're gone again.
Ignoring the most downloaded, the top 5 that Cal's been posting around, what would you say that your personal favorite show has been so far?
Wow. I have no idea which ones the top 5 are, but I mean, I thought it was. I guess Matt Dillahunty would be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool to talk to him. And of course, Lawrence Krauss, even though he did not seem like he was very interested in what we were talking about, he was basically fed up of talking about the Higgs boson at the time.
Right.
But it was really nice to be able to talk to someone like that.
Yeah. And I suppose by all the physics ones you've enjoyed the most.
Yeah, not all of them actually, because some of them have been basically, yeah, I already know all this.
Yeah, I think you quite like Sean Carroll though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got just.
Yeah, that was great.
He's got a really good personality to him. That kind of he just lends himself very well to that kind of atmosphere he was in.
And I've got his textbook.
Yes, is it any good?
Well, yeah, but it's nasty. It's so high level. It's just. I mean, a lot of the math is above my head actually. So I'm sort of having to look things up as I go, and it's annoying. So I'm not really getting anywhere. But a proper textbook in general relativity is
just what Idiot is saying there in the chat room. We've kind of just reached 100 episodes. And we have been planning to kind of try and do something to market, so hopefully we can get everyone together. Problem is, Lundy right now is without a computer, and we'd love to have Faraday on. I think we really need to have Faraday around if we're going to do a history of show thing.
Yeah.
And he's in a bit of a bind right now. He can't, for personal reasons, he can't be on the show all the time. He really wants to, but hopefully in the next few months we will do something like that. We'll try and get everyone together and do a special Google Hangout for the history of Tool, because it's been 100 episodes and it's been really fantastic so far. From where we came to where we are now and the people we have on the show, it's just, I can't believe it myself.
No, me neither.
I mean, it was like, I explained to Lundy, it was like last year we were so excited when Martin Wagner kind of agreed to come on the show, and then since then kind of we're just like, oh you've got him, that's cool, that's all right. Yeah,
we talked about that on Skype, like who could we, if this guy can't make it, who can we get as a backup? oh, yeah, Martin Wagner might do it. We were really excited to have someone like that come on the show, and now like we're thinking of him as a backup. What the hell?
But yeah, that's quite fun. That's one story. I think it was this year when we had Herb Silverman on, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the show. And Lundy had to pull out just hours beforehand. And, and Lundy had to go, I think he had to work an extra shift or something, and he needs the money. And then next day on Monday, just said, oh, I'm really sorry. How did the show go? And if you remember, Martin Wagner was on that show, and I just said to Lundy, oh, it's okay. Someone managed to fill in for you, by the way, so it wasn't a problem. I think he did all right. He's kind of got a wee bit of who was it? And it's just Martin Wagner, and then all caps on my screen, Lundy goes, you have got to be shitting me. But yeah, I mean, even like when the first charity show, I was just amazed at the people we got on that, and I remember our private chat room, every time we'd type up this guy's confirmed, I think your jaws were hitting the floor more.
Yeah.
Yes, Danish Atheist Society is confirmed.
But I almost shit my pants when for the second charity show when we confirmed James Randi.
Yeah. It was just.
And then of course the tech fucked it up big time.
That is sort of partly my fault because, like I said, I lost my job in May and I had to go back to my parents, which was on the islands with a shitty broadband connection.
Yeah.
But as you all know, I've now got fibre broadband, so
yeah,
hopefully. I mean, there have been problems, but say it's better than when we're doing these hangouts than rather.
Oh, it's much better.
Yeah,
is there anybody that you guys haven't gotten yet that you really want as a guest?
Probably plenty. One guy I really want to get is Reginald Finlay, the infidel guy. I'd really like to have him on because he was basically the first kind of atheist skeptic media that I really listen to on a regular basis. And a lot of people seem to not like his style, but I loved him. I still think he's great as well. It's just a shame he's not doing a show, but he also had some fantastic guests and some incredible shows he had on as well. Did you listen to him at all, Marty?
No.
Yeah, listen. We talk a lot about what we think is stupid. Could you talk about what you think?
What I think is smart. Oh.
You just watch our shows and you'll find plenty of stuff we think is smart.
Yeah.
The people we have on our shows, it's all people that everyone on the team wants to speak to, so because we have interesting things to say.
And when it comes to what is smart, I mean science in general. I'm a physics teacher. I mean science is really important to me, and talking about science,
But
that's what I do.
You want something that's smart, or a person that really is smart, and who was a bit of a surprise to me when we had him on, Stephen Law.
Stephen Law, yeah, he's brilliant.
Really. Because we had that geared up to be Lundy's show, because that was the first sort of 100% philosopher. To use a guy who was just solely a philosopher, we got on, and it was for Lundy. And what happened was we all loved that show very much.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the biggest surprises. And it's not in a bad way, just we're not into philosophy and all that. So
well, I actually am into philosophy. I just haven't studied it formally.
Yeah,
well, I have touched on it. I've touched on epistemology in while studying pedagogy, but I haven't taken a proper philosophy course ever. And I would love to if it weren't for the fact that I got to make a living.
But Stephen Law, he's totally surprised me, that guy.
Yeah, and what's brilliant about him is that he can actually dumb down the philosophy, pretty high level philosophy, to the level where I think pretty much anyone would understand it.
Yeah. He basically just makes it accessible to everyone.
And that's the problem. That's what I feel is the barrier, because when I read pretty advanced philosophy, I can think that it's interesting after I look up a lot of big words that I'm just not familiar with. But that's the problem. The terminology. I don't have that. And
well, that's because that
really
was one of
sucks.
the main questions I had for Stephen Law was about that issue, and he actually said he hates the terminology himself.
Yeah.
And he actually, because I think it was towards the end, I remember he said, like, if you notice, I've only used one kind of terminal, jargon, and that was evil. And I said, yeah, I didn't even notice that's kind of during the show, kind of the definition of what evil is.
Oh. Let's see.
Has it always been guessed that you guys more or less agreed with their point of view? Have you ever had anybody on just because you disagreed with them and wanted to get into a conversation live about it?
Venom Fangs.
Well, okay, but that's, I mean, that
was for a debate.
Just about arguing about his...
It's,
okay.
I don't know, we get on people we think are going to be interesting, and if we disagree with them during the thing, I'm sure we'd raise it with them because they've all been really good with us. Because I know there's been a few that Lundy's disagreed with. But I think that's just more Lundy's nature,
Yeah, but yeah. I don't think I've disagreed with anyone about a lot of things. I've disagreed with people about details.
Yeah.
But then, I don't want to challenge people on the show because that'll just...
Yeah.
If it's going to turn into a long discussion, it's just not worth it.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's more... That'd be something for the callers, I think.
Yeah. There was this, who was it?
Like I said, we're in interview mode when we do the show, so
exactly.
So that's kind of what we rely on the callers for. If they find something they disagree with, they can call it and then speak to the guest.
Yeah.
That's kind of... I think you were going to bring up Sub-Zero Bob, were you?
Oh, yeah.
Because you had that look on your face.
No, I was thinking about actually Jordan's question here.
I think.
What about science and philosophy gets you really excited? Well, what doesn't? It's just I like using my brain to figure things out about the reality I happen to live in.
But I think,
and science and philosophy are tools that I use for that, and I just enjoy learning things and having a good understanding of something that is demonstrably useful, because then I can use it. Well, at least I could use it for something practical, even if I don't. I mean, I'm not an engineer, but I want to understand how things work.
And in terms of what Jordan's saying about the discovery, I think I know which one that was. Is that the time he saw Saturn? Was that the...
yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about what I mentioned about seeing Jupiter through a telescope.
Oh, it's Jupiter, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those things, after having studied astronomy at the university level, I got an opportunity to take a $5,000 telescope and point it at Jupiter and actually get a pretty good look at it. And I've seen planets before through telescopes. I don't think I had ever seen Jupiter before, but it was just, okay, big rock or big gas ball, yeah, big deal. But now I had studied astronomy. I knew what it was. I understood the physics behind what I was looking at. And when I saw it, I understood it from a completely different perspective. And I just thought it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And that being said, what I was looking at was 5 dots.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. So I feel that an understanding of science just increases my appreciation for, well, I guess I could get really corny and say the beauty of nature.
No, just what Glee's saying, I don't think we'll do a Christmas Day hangout. I mean, we might have if everyone's online and they feel like it, we could, but I don't know what everyone's doing. It just people go to their families and that, so it's not. I mean, although it sounds like a good idea in practice, it's not just not practical to do, I think. I mean, like I say, I might be like I'm thinking of taking a holiday for Christmas, so I might do something on that day. I might do a stream for people because I'm going to be going on holiday solo.
Something demonstrably useful. Could you give some examples? Well, okay, I can give you a simple. It's very difficult to think of good examples, but I can think of one straight off the top of my head, and that is a use for an understanding of the basics of thermodynamics, heat expansion.
Yeah.
You know, those damn jars that just won't open, a glass jar with a metal lid. You just can't screw the lid open.
Oh, yeah.
Pour hot water on it. The metal expands faster than the glass. Wow. It's useful. You know, it's just things like that, and my parents didn't know that, and they were like, what the hell are you talking about, metal expanding faster? Oh, well, it did get easier.
Yeah.
It's little things like that that are useful in in everyday life, but there's no end to what's useful if we're going to go talk about, building new technology. Every piece of technology utilizes our knowledge of the laws of nature.
Yeah. Like the stuff I'm working on right now is acoustic positioning systems. I mean, that's heavily based on nature because we've taken like the echolocation that dolphins use, and we based it on that. It's for basically what I'm working on is subsea. It's kind of the basic way to think is subsea GPS. It's because these ships need to stay in one position, so we put all these transducers on the ocean floor, and we fire out audio pulses down to them, all of them, and they come back, and we triangulate, and the boat can stay within. I think we've got it to 5 millimeters. We can keep a massive big boat in one place to that level of accuracy, and that's all on the kind of concepts of echolocation that dolphins use.
Yeah. And another thing when you're talking about systems used for determining locations, I mean, that GPS.
Yeah.
That's an application of both special and general relativity.
And it works very, very.
And it works, and it wouldn't work if we didn't have a good understanding of those really weird phenomena that people just sort of dismiss as, well, that sounds too abstract to be real.
Well, I think
it's demonstrably useful. That's how we know it's true.
Yeah, we did have a guest that explained this kind of thing about the usefulness of what we're researching, and that was Phil Moriarty, because I asked him that question. And it was like, is it the guy who did all the work on lasers? He was told to stop it because he was wasting his time, and it wasn't of any use to anyone. And now basically, like, lasers are basically all around you. They're used every day. You use them when you go. They're used when you go shopping, even. So.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's hard to think of. I mean, just every day you can't think of something you do in your day now that doesn't involve a laser of some kind.
Yeah, and if you think about all the technology that goes into a computer, just to allow us to do what we're doing right now, there's a lot of advanced engineering, and there's quantum mechanics involved. And yes, the real kind of quantum mechanics, not the Deepak Chopra kind. The communication, there are probably satellites involved, so there's probably relativity involved as well, because of satellites that have to adjust for time differences between the stationary objects on Earth and moving objects in orbit and so on.
100% power efficiency is, well, Jordan's saying we could solar panels can get 100% power efficiency. No, they can't.
No, in principle, in principle you could, but in practice, no, you can't.
Yeah, the mathematics says you could, but in real life you can't. And I've worked on these.
Exactly.
Solar is very, very good, but you've got to build such massive, massive panels to get huge scale energy out of it.
Yeah.
It's like what I say is what we should be doing for energy requirements is trying to use all, it's not about just using wind or just using solar. You've got to mix them together because they all have their strengths and weaknesses, and if you kind of combine them, then that's when we're going to get.
And you also have a problem that because of the low effectiveness of solar power and wind power as well, for that matter, you need to actually use. You need to basically destroy large areas to use them for that purpose, and of course that has a lot of environmental impact.
Because it's like I say to everyone, like green energy, there's no 100% green energy of any kind. No. You have to impact the environment to obtain your energy at some level.
Yeah. Why does there need to be a delineation between real quantum physics and Deepak quantum physics? Because they're completely different things. Real quantum physics is a branch of physics, and what Deepak Chopra is talking about is some sort of pseudo-philosophy that uses terminology that has been hijacked from physics.
Can I just quickly, I'm catching up with Jordan. I never said photosynthesis isn't efficient.
It isn't 100% efficient.
That's what we said. 100% efficiency is pretty much impossible. I'm not going to say completely impossible because we can't be absolutely certain. Like I said, the mathematics say we can get up, but in reality it's very, very difficult to get 100%. Efficiency, photosynthesis is efficient, but how efficient? There's a scale to these things.
Exactly.
It's like, hate to say it, but like petroleum, gasoline, that is very efficient at what it does. You get a lot of energy out of it, and it does work very well. And also because the thing with real quantum physics is it can be written up, the data's collected, we could go get the data and check it for ourselves. You can't do that with Deepak's.
Yeah, because Deepak does this whole, your thoughts collapse the wave function of reality and blah, blah, blah. So basically everyone has their own idea of what's real and whatnot. And that's unscientific because it, by definition, cannot be demonstrated, because the suggestion is I have one reality and you have one reality. There's no way that we could come to any kind of objective conclusion. But with real quantum physics you can. Then you actually test things empirically.
Jordan, you're still going on about biosynthesis. We said there's no problem. It is efficient. It is not highly efficient. It is efficient. It does what it does very nicely.
Yeah, just because it's efficient, that doesn't mean it's 100% efficient. Just because it's not 100% efficient, that doesn't mean it's useless. There is such a thing as 98% efficiency. That would be awesome. Of course, I don't have the figures, but
to be fair, what he's saying now is if we design a new kind of plant, one that powered the environment around it. Yeah, that's a hypothetical. I think that's the kind of stuff Craig Venter's trying to do right now with bacteria, isn't it? If I remember Kirchhoff, I wish Kirchhoff here, he could have probably, because Kirch is also involved in this, getting bacteria to produce electricity and produce gold and things like that.
Yeah, Kirch is working with stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think that's where we're at right now, is trying to get bacteria to do it, because getting a plant to do that's another thing.
Plants are a lot more complicated than bacteria.
And
So they're more difficult to manipulate in that sense.
yeah, because Craig Venter is working on. I mean, that's the work of Craig Venter is probably the one reference I can give for that.
I have to head out of this. I got something I have to go do that I forgot
All right.
about.
See you tomorrow.
See ya.
All right.
Have a good night.
I got a couple questions. I'll message you later.
All right. No problem.
Bye.
Okay.
Well, you kept on going on about. We've said if it is efficient, Jordan. Don't know how many times there's different scales of efficiency. Something can be 1% efficient and it's still efficient. So.
Okay. Anyone else have anything?
Because like I'm coming at this from I'm an electronic engineer. That's my background. So.
Yeah, you do the practical stuff. I do the theoretical stuff behind it. And they're not always going to agree.
Yeah, well, I know that myself because, like I said, I'm so often handed designs for circuit boards, and then when I get to build them, there's so many problems with them.
Yeah, the theory doesn't always account for practical problems that just
and even
unfortunately pop up.
I built a working circuit board with still probably heaps of work to be done to get it to work.
Yeah. I had this discussion with people who compared physics students with people who study electronics.
Yeah.
And they have completely different understandings of how electrical circuits work. And basically it's because the physics students they understand the theory, but they just can't do anything useful with it because, well, they just don't know how to put it together. And the electronics student, they don't have a clue about the theory. They just connect wires and, hey, it works.
Are asteroids in the asteroid belt big enough for colonization? Could be. Depends how big a colony. That's only.
Yeah. How big a colony and how practical would you want it to be? I mean, the gravity is going to be virtually non-existent.
Yep, and until we can reduce artificial gravity, which is.
I'm not holding my breath for that one. If not, are they mostly ice? No, that has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the fact that they are too small.
Just to answer.
It's not practical.
Just to answer idiot there. Kitch is. I think he's done his undergrad was biochemistry, and now he's moved into biotechnology. And he's a
PhD student.
Yes, his PhD is going to be in biotech. Like his initial undergrad was in biochem, and he specializes. What is it? Schwannella, I think. Yes, Schwannella, isn't it? He works on that bacteria, and currently he's trying to make them produce gold nanoparticles.
Instead of saying you can't do that and that would never work, or that's a hypothetical, a better way to say that sounds insane, but I'm intrigued. How could we do it? Well, yeah, that's a good attitude until it's demonstrated that it wouldn't work.
It's just pretty much all I've denied the years is, I don't think I've said you can't do that, but with your plant thing I just said it's very difficult. That's all I've said. We're kind of at a very basic stage with what you're proposing.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the asteroid thing, it's,
Put the biologists and engineers just in a room together. Don't know why you would include artists in that meeting.
Yeah, artists work with something completely different. You'd include artists if what you're talking about is making it aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
I mean, in product design, artists are involved. But artists have nothing to say if what we're talking about is, does something work or doesn't it?
And we've got bioengineering as it is.
Yeah.
And what we just described what Kitch is doing, that's basically bioengineering.
Yeah.
You've got the Venter Institute, which is doing bioengineering. And Venter's coming through with some incredible work. Yeah. Yeah, Jordan, you're describing the scientific method there.
Yeah.
That's just exactly what it is. I mean, that's how it all works.
And when it doesn't work, we ask more questions to find. Yeah, exactly. But we also have to acknowledge that maybe it can't happen because, I mean, it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. Can you sink a basket from across a full court without a ball? No, obviously you can't, because it's impossible. It's not a question of figuring out what went wrong in order to make it happen. It can't happen. And it's the same thing with a lot of issues with the laws of nature. Some things just aren't possible.
Mm.
But yeah, you're right. We wouldn't get a peer-reviewed article about it if no one was actually writing about it. That's true. But people are writing about it, and it's, you know, a lot of things are rejected from peer review because it just doesn't hold up.
I mean, again,
that doesn't mean no one is working on it.
Again, this is where Kitch would come in, because Kitch he's trying to get peer reviewed, and Kitch will tell you how phenomenally difficult it is. The standards are ridiculously high.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be peer-reviewed papers on it.
Yeah, Jordan, it can. You just have to ask the question first, where's the ball? The point is, you're supposed to do it without a ball.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Yeah.
I don't mean you don't know where the ball is. I'm saying, what if there is no ball? Then you have an unsolvable problem. You have to sort of break the rules of how I set up the problem in order to solve it.
Was one point, it was just Dow saying, do we have all the science bases covered? I think the expertise on the tool team, Marty's kind of maths and physics, isn't it?
Yeah. Kind of. I wouldn't call myself an expert.
Yeah, but that's...
But I'm educated in the subjects, and I mean, my education is in physics and math education.
Yeah. Kitch, like I said, well, biochemistry, but he does know a good bit about biology and chemistry as a result of that. Lundy is philosophy, and it's ethics he specialises in, so that's his main interest, ethics and morality. I'm electronic engineering, and I'm going into mathematics at the moment. I'm doing a long-distance learning course. Who else? Ferridier, he's a history major. So yeah, we've got quite... That's one thing about Tool. I think all of the hosts here, we've all got a different background.
Well, that's a hypothetical shuffle. Yes, it is. What if a piano fell on your head? Yeah, that's another hypothetical shuffle. I'd be dead. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's just the reality of it. That's the point. You have to take reality into account. You can't just assume that there is a way to solve every problem.
There are just some things that can't.
Yeah, some things are sadly impossible. That's just the nature of reality.
Yeah.
Idiot. Marty, here's one. You can't ever completely stop an atom from moving. Yeah, true. Is there even a remote chance at perpetual motion? Well, yes. In the sense, it's not just a remote chance. There is perpetual motion there, by definition. The problem is you can't actually extract energy from it. I mean, the idea of perpetual motion or free energy is that you're supposed to be able to pull more energy out than you put in. And you can't do that. So perpetual motion is not some. It's a misnomer. Really, when people well, that's probably not the right way to say it. But people saying that you can't have perpetual motion. Yes, you can. You just can't do anything useful with it, because then it will stop eventually.
Sorry, just distracted my Skype. It's just when you're logged into the tool Skype, like Kitch found out, he gets distracted when he sees these names pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
Because right now I just had James Randi came online, so just you can't help but go, whoop, look at that when you see James Randi's name. So here's one for you. Your favourite scientists then in history? Like, who do you think was a pioneer for you, Marty?
Well, given that I really find relativity so amazingly interesting, I'm going to have to say Einstein.
All right, yeah.
But I'm also a huge fan of Stephen Hawking.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think for me, I think everyone knows it's Tesla. I think he invented so much revolution. Like, basically, if it wasn't for Tesla's ideas, we really wouldn't be sitting here doing this.
No, that's true. Any particular topics in physics you feel students tend to struggle most with on a conceptual level, with not being really intuitive? Yeah, quantum theory and relativity, or, well, yeah. I think actually electromagnetic theory is the most complicated one to get into, at least in high school, because you just don't have the mathematical understanding that you need in order to get into it properly. So that was one. I mean, how do you explain what's going on in an electrical circuit to someone who doesn't understand, what electrons are, what the properties of solid matter are, like conductivity and stuff like that? How do you explain the concepts like, electrical resistance, the difference between voltage and current? These are really difficult things for high school kids to grasp. And then when you get into quantum theory and introduce that, you're just barely scratching the surface of it. So that's usually not that much of a problem. That's a sad thing, though, that you're only scratching the surface of it, because it is such an important part of physics, and it's sort of being sidelined because it's too complicated.
I'm just going to say, like, one guy who I find is really good at popularizing and making people energized about these subjects is James Grime. I'm a huge fan of that guy. He's got such a good manner, and he makes mathematics so interesting.
Yeah. He's great.
And he was probably another highlight for you that you got to talk to him this year.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone, if you go to the Numberphile channel and check out, he's pretty much the face of Number. I think he's the guy everyone associates with Numberphile almost. And it's quite interesting what he had to say, because I know he said, like, here in the Cambridge Maths Department, there's people here using calculators to figure out their barbells, but they're fantastic at calculus and algebra.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The problem of light getting to us from billions of light years away in the 6,000 years since creation is not a problem, because for relativity, the photons experience no time in transit. Well, so what? We would, relativity fail. Sure, the photons don't experience any transit time because they're traveling at the speed of light. But the observer, who is not traveling at the speed of light, does. And he can calculate how long the travel, the transit time was in his frame of reference. And it's going to be more than 6,000 years.
But the other thing, we were speaking briefly about education here, and this goes back to the philosophy. I think we don't teach philosophy enough kids, and that's
True.
I don't know if it's the same in Sweden, but we don't get it at all in Scottish schools. Like you can only get
We have an optional philosophy
we
course.
don't even have that. We've got nothing compared. I mean, a
And
basic.
I actually didn't take it because it was not properly presented beforehand.
I think like if we gave all kids like even was an hour a week of basic philosophy and critical thinking, I think it would make such a difference. It would make a
Absolutely.
difference. Like and socially as well, I think. Not just kind of to sciences and engineering, but in a social context as well.
Yeah.
People would be able to like even just analyze when they go to vote the politicians what their policies, argue these things out, because it's one thing I've come across more and more in my adult. It's just how poor we are at arguing, a lot of us.
Being able to call out politicians when they use logical fallacies.
And thinking as well. And just I'll admit,
Sure.
we're all sloppy thinkers at times.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone else with some questions? It's been quite a conversation going now.
Yeah. How likely is it we'll be able to use lightning storms as an energy source? Very unlikely unless you can find a predictable way to produce them.
Yeah, unless you can produce them, but then producing them would take so much energy.
Yeah, you wouldn't make any profit there. But if we could find a way to accurately predict weather and have a sort of a I don't know, some sort of energy extractor or something. I mean, some device that could harness the energy, and you could move that to wherever a lightning storm is going to break out in 3 days. That would be awesome. Then we're going to get into the issues of why you can't predict the weather with that sort of precision, which has to do with chaos theory, which is a really cool area of mathematics, which is a mess, but yeah. There's a limit to how accurate a weather report can be, and that's the problem. No one else.
Anyone else have a comment?
We've been at this for more than 2 hours now. I wish we could have done more ponage, but copyright and all that.
Yeah, that was an unexpected glitch, but
yeah,
we got round to doing a wee mini interview with you for your follower study.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll find it interesting.
Yeah, I hope so. I think
There is one thing we could say. We can announce next year's charity, seeing as we've been on the topic of engineering.
Oh yes.
We have a very, very cool charity. Also, this is kind of going to be from now on to use kind of tools charity. It's the one we're going to do every year, and they're a fantastic group, Engineers Without Borders. And
Amazingly underrated.
yes, the work they do is incredible.
Yeah, drilling wells and stuff like that. I mean, it's
They put
repairing infrastructure in war-torn countries. I mean, it's awesome work that just gets sidelined because it's not, medical work.
Yeah. It's like
but it's
I mean,
vital.
It's like what Doctors Without Borders do. It's incredible as well. But then there's always like what happens afterwards, and that's where Engineers Without Borders come in. They build the hospitals, they get the equipment, they get running water, sanitation, energy to these places, that are in poverty, or, it's just incredible what they are doing, and I'm amazed how very few people know about what they do. And yeah, so that's going to be our charity next year. We're going to be raising money for it, and that's what's the date? 5th of July we'll be doing that. So there'll be there'll be updates all through the year. So one thing we'll like the last two charity shows we always seem to leave it quite late, so we're going to organise this one well in advance.
Yeah, and then we'll just have to stress our asses off with the guests that will be cancelling with 1 week to go and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, I say hopefully, like I'm in this job now and I've got fibre optic, so hopefully we can really produce a good quality. How many hours this is going to be, and also we've got some new people on our team that will be able to help us out, because last year we did suffer from having not too deep a talent pool at the time, and then one person pulled out, and it ended up being having me, yourself, and Kitch had to basically do the whole thing after that.
Yeah.
Find a flying bird with bite for people to fly around and.
Yeah, great. Get to work on that.
There's a lot more to that, Jordan, because you've also got to think of the metabolism. I think there was a program on BBC a few years ago where it was kind of a mock document. They shrunk the guy down to like a centimetre tall, and just to see what it would be like. And so it was like the stuff like the metabolism. It's not just as simple as we think. Oh, you can grow it up and it'll work, because the oxygen is still the same, and so the metabolism of the whole creature will have to change then. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, Jordan. I just say there's a lot to consider if you want to do that.
Yeah. And I'm not sure I agree that the smartest people in the world work for the NSA and Monsanto. In fact, I would say they definitely don't. You tend to find the smartest people in the world at universities, and, at least in my experience.
And also, there are smart people outside of the USA who work for other places.
Yeah, most smart people don't. No, that's mean, but.
If you go to Oxford or Cambridge, you're going to find a lot of smart people there.
Universities in Japan?
Yes. I mean, we've got the Shen University.
But if your point is that smart people are found working for companies, well, you got to make a living, and fortunately, there are lots of smart people who decide to work at universities simply because they want to pursue, learning about their field of choice, and they make much less money than they could. I mean, I know a physicist who makes twice what a university professor does because he works in the private sector, and. But he doesn't actually develop anything. He doesn't. Well, he does develop. He develops technology.
Yeah.
And that's not really what he wanted to do. That's not why he became a physicist.
No, we don't know everyone working in the. I don't know anyone who works in the NSA. I just find your claim to be a wee bit ridiculous.
No. It's because we're Martians who work for the Illuminati. You know that.
Yeah, but it's just your claim that.
And Kitch is a space Jew, right?
Like,
oh man.
Because
okay, everyone is working for them. They don't even know about it. Well, that's another conspiracy theory issue.
Because you're starting to sound like Mike Adams now, and I don't want to go down that.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah.
You know what? 2 hours and 23 minutes now. I think I have about had enough of this. It's been fun, but I'm getting a bit tired actually.
Yeah.
It's been great interacting with so many of my followers, and Jordan. It's been great because you're not threatening me with hell, so you're awesome compared to creationists. No, I gotta say this. I think you seem like a really nice guy. We just have very different views.
Yeah.
And I hope you can take my criticism of you with a sense of humor. I really hope you do that because, yeah, I can be mean. I know that, but it's for entertainment purposes, and you are more than welcome to be equally mean in return as long as it's done with a wink and a smile. If you understand what I'm saying. I'm not actually trying to be mean to you. I'm trying to express my frustration with the fact that I totally disagree with you.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll let you go and let me go because
Yeah.
I'm still. I'm on to season 4 of Deep Space Nine right now, so
Oh, cool.
that's when Cisco gets the Chrome Dome and he goes really badass. Then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got some Deep Space Nine to watch, and we've got a show tomorrow. And as this is your celebration, Marty, you tell them the show tomorrow.
Yeah, who was it? Oh, yeah, John Loftus.
John Loftus is a former minister. He's also a former student of one William Lane Craig. And he's now an atheist. He holds like a ridiculous amount of degrees in theology and philosophy and divinity and all that kind of stuff. And he deconverted, and he runs a blog called Debunking Christianity. Looking forward to speaking to him very much, because William Lane Craig completely refuses to debate him these days, which will be
probably he's right.
Yeah. Yes. By the way, I wouldn't say Sisko's the best captain. I switch between Sisko and Picard a lot.
Well, they're both bald, and I think that's the criteria that makes a good captain, right?
Well, it's kind of just they're both very different, as well as they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Sisko's your man in the trenches, whereas Picard's your intellectual diplomat and your statistician and all that. So they're just really different kind of captains. I switch between them, but I will say this, and I think Marty agreed, DS9 is the best Star Trek, without a doubt.
I don't think it's the best Star Trek, but I think it's the best of them as a series.
Oh yeah.
I think well, no, I actually think the original series is the best. I mean, that's true Star Trek.
Yeah.
But I think TNG is better made, and DS9 is the one. If I'm just gonna watch, something, I'll put in a DVD of DS9 any day.
Yeah. I think, well, DS9 had the best characters. It had
best characters, best writing, all that stuff.
Most well fleshed out characters of it, and characters that actually grew over a series, which was because, like everyone says, is like when you watch season 7 and then watch season 1 Bashir and compare and contrast.
Yeah,
it is incredible. Like
I think they sort of realized what I don't think they intended him to be as annoying as he was in the first season.
They spent so much time on the other characters, they forgot about Bashir.
And Glee? Seriously? No?
We've told you this before many times.
Best villain, possibly. Now, okay, seriously, now we're getting into discussing Star Trek.
You already did a debate with Bionic Dance on that matter.
Yeah, which was horrible.
Yes. All right, we will leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll see all tomorrow at 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's 8 p.m. European, isn't it? European.
Yeah, Central European, yeah.
Yeah, Central European, because I know we've got quite a big European audience as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah. Sorry about the tech issues. We just hope you enjoyed.
And sorry about the copyright issues as well.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed interacting with Marty tonight. So.
Yeah.
Right. See everyone later. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.